Hello everyone, this is going to be a tutorial for using AutoCAD and using the draw commands on this draw panel here. These are the commands that we use to do the actual drafting of the objects we're wanting to show, and then from there we're going to learn how to modify those drawings, how to annotate them and plot them. But for now we're just going to learn the drawing commands to start. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to use line and polyline and the difference between those. There's three things to keep in mind when just starting to do a new drawing. I like to always just type in units first and double check that I'm in the units I want to be. I have mine set to inches, and for type it's architectural, and that way when I do dimensions, the precision will be to the 1/16 of an inch. So I'll click OK. And then two things down here that I always like to have on. This circle here with the angle, if you click the drop-down menu next to it, it'll ask you what angles you want your lines to be able to snap to. And I have mine set to 90 and 180. That way, when I'm drawing a line, it can be parallel. They can be parallel to each other, and it just makes things a lot easier. Another thing to keep in mind right here, this square with the other square, are my snaps. I like to have endpoint on at all times, and then you can pick whichever ones are your preference to add on as well. That way, if I want to close a box, it'll snap to the endpoint really quickly, and I'll show you guys how I do that. But just make sure you have the endpoint snap on if you'd like, and then the angle, the cursor is restricted to 90, 180. That'll just make things a little bit easier. So now that we have those things set up, line versus polyline. If you want to do a command, any of the commands up here, you can either click on the icon or type the command down here. So I could either click line or in this bar type line, enter. And it'll tell you what to do next in this command box. So it says specify first point. And the way I do that, to decide where I want to put it, I can scroll down to scroll outwards or up to scroll inwards. So let's say right here is where I want the first one to be. And I'm going to click, and then it'll say specify next point. And if I want for it to be a 90-degree angle or 180-degree angle, I can wait till it snaps to that green line, which is, it's there because of this command here. Or I could have it go just at any angle. So I like to specify the angle that I want it to be first, and then type in the length that I want it to be. So here I'll type 5, enter, and that's 5 inches. And then next I'll say 10, enter, and then I'll just close it, so it's a triangle. And then you can also make unclosed objects too, and to do that, you will click line here, so it doesn't have to be closed. And I'm just clicking escape to tell it that I'm done. And you can also click the spacebar to go back to whatever command you were just doing. So that's really helpful. So if you draw a line and then click enter or escape to tell it you're done, you can then click the spacebar and draw another line too. So I just clicked escape to get out of that. So those are some lines, and then to do polyline, you'll either click on the line icon or type polyline or p-line is the shortcut. And it'll, same thing, specify a starting point, so I'll tell it starting point, and then it'll tell me to specify the next point. And remember, I can type in a length or I can just have it snap there. And then I'm pressing the spacebar to do it again, and I'm just clicking. So the next line, this one I'll make it 5 inches, enter, and then I'm just clicking, and this I'll have it be open as well. And then remember, press the space bar, and then you can draw another line, enter, to be done. You can either click enter or escape once you're done drawing. So the difference between line and polyline is that when you draw with polyline, it's all considered one object. Whereas when you draw with line, it'll only select the one line that you click. They're not all connected as one object. Because of this, I like to use polyline more often because when I'm just trying to select things more quickly, it's all one thing already, so I don't have to make sure that I'm selecting every single line. And so it just helps me not make as many mistakes when I'm doing drawings. Something else to keep in mind, when you want to make a selection, if you click and then drag from the right, everything that you touch will be selected. Click and drag and then click again, and then all that is selected, and then click escape to unselect. And then if you're going from the left, click, it'll only select everything that you're completely covering. And then click escape to deselect. And so when you're doing that with just line instead of polyline, and let's say I go from here to here, instead of selecting this entire thing, it'll just select the 2 lines that it's touching, as opposed to if I were to do it here, it would select everything. So that's the difference between line and polyline. For that reason, polyline is a lot quicker to work with in a lot of ways, and it's the one that I prefer to use because it's all joined as one object already. Let me know if there's anything I can clarify from this video, and I hope that this was helpful.